Welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. That's right. Be sure to like and share this podcast. You can be entered to win a Blu-ray of a 90s comic book movie. I'm sure you cannot wait to see what we give you, and we are very excited for you to find out. Anyway, right now, we've talked a lot about 90s comic book movies, made it through a very successful segment about Spawn, the movie, and now it's time to talk about what comic book movie are you so glad they did not do in the 1990s? James, what you got?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, we were lucky.
We were lucky.
We were lucky lots that they didn't make. Green Lantern movies been horrible. Trying to think something that I've really hated. You know what? I would have really hated if they'd made a big budget Thor movie back then.
Oh, that would have been terrible. Look at Thor in that Hulk movie.
Yeah, he's just some dude with leather and long blonde hair. Doesn't have the helmet, really. Doesn't have the proper... And, he just switches place with that dude. It's weird. Sucky.
Mike Matthews, what do you got for me? What are you glad they did not do, comic book film-wise, in the 90s?
It was really popular in the 90s, and I'm glad they didn't do it. Silver Surfer.
Oh, man, how? How do you do that movie?
I was going to say, it's going to be a lot of costumes and just, like, bad Fantastic Four. You know? I can just see I can see some green screen stuff, and, you'd have to do a big budget, but I don't think...
It would have looked like one of those 1950s Hawaii Beach movies.
Oh, yeah.
When they're doing the fake surfing. He'd just been like...
He'd have been like head to toe in one of those like suits, the green suits that everybody wears now and stuff. Oh, dude, that would look so bad. I didn't even think that...
Oh, man. Yeah.
Was that on anybody's radar in the 90s? I seriously hope...
Well, it was the whole Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, it was huge.
That was big, and his book was big. So it was just one of those, and I just go back to thinking of the Mobius stuff, and I was like, that was really cool. But I think they did end up doing the animated series.
The animated series, which had very crude CG in it, it was terrible.
So terrible.
They made 10 episodes or something?
Yeah, very small. And they took the Fantastic Four out of the origin. Hammer Time Holshoe, what do you got for me? What are you glad they did not make in the 90s?
Something that I enjoyed, that I think needed CG, that got delayed till the 2000s, was SpiderMan. I don't know if Spider-Man would have been done correctly in the 90s. I'm not talking about like the made-for-TV movie or that stuff. I'm saying it really does take some CG and some practical, and on top of practical effects to do the swinging the buildings, to do it correctly. I think the first Tobey Maguire film is visually is still an amazing film, regardless if you like that film or like the Andrew Garfield or excited about the new Spider-Man. Something that I don't know if could have been done correctly in the 90s, and I'm happy that there was a lot of Marvel properties not done that could have been done correctly. So I'd rather them hold off than mess it up. I think we're at a point now that it makes no difference. There's no holds bar for any Marvel or any comic property, but I'm happy they didn't because I think they would mess up Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember James Cameron was pegged to direct that Spider-Man movie. He wanted Leo DiCaprio. That's actually on my list. I don't know if that one would have been very good. Another one is Tom Cruise's company was down to do an Iron Man film in the late 90s.
I remember that now.
I don't know if that would have been very good at all. And
can he really do facial hair? Because that's a big part of the role.
I don't think Tom Cruise can do facial hair. It is a big part of the role.
Yeah.
You're right. Superman.
Oh, jeez.
Knowing what we know about the Tim Burton Superman film.
Now that we've seen the test shots and stuff.
So happy it didn't get
with his weird plastic suit.
Yeah.
That was all shiny, and he didn't have a cape, maybe.
And hearing what Kevin Smith tells about the movie, about his fights with the producers and the script, so glad they didn't make that movie. And I do, all throughout the 90s, wanted a Superman film. So glad they didn't make it.
Giant mechanical spiders and swords that come out of his...
Which we did get. All right, let's get back to social media real quick. Jonathan Strickland, trolling us, says Juno. Fuck you. Brian Price says Men in Black. Lance Allen says Blade, I guess. Mostly garbage to choose from. And Jeremy Day says, Batman Returns, I guess the 90s were dark times for comic book films. Well, they were dark times, but dark times for different reasons, because they were dark stories with dark characters. And we've already talked about that. But that's what we got from the guys. The best answer of the night, though, Kenny Jowden. He says his favorite 90s comic book film is The Invisibles. You know, the one with Keanu Reeves.
Oh!
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.